I did not know until I saw her kind of do this little comedy thing at a woman's spirit retreat. So I've gotten to see Karen in many different forms, but that song is just gorgeous. So I wanted to kind of tell you how I have up until now, and it may change of when I'm doing a talk, is I really need a big table, because I get notes, I get books, I get articles, I just, you know, it's all spread out, and I write things down, and they're everywhere, and my mind is full and overflowing, and then it's like, oh, what am I supposed to write about? What am I supposed to say with all of this information, because it's all so good? So it was the same this time, and I said, well, you need to like pull it in, Kate, you need to come in at the topic. So I went back, and everyone in in Centers for Spiritual Living get an outline and kind of we have a yearly theme, and then a month and a book. So this is the last Sunday of June, and what the topic has been for the month is called Protect the Vulnerable and Empowerment. And this week's was done by Reverend Jeff Staton. He's an associate minister at Credo Focus Ministry. I did my best to find out what Credo Ministry was. I didn't find out. So you're in the dark like I am. And what today's topic is heart-centered social engagement. So I kind of broke that down and went to I started actually kind of the social engagement. And this is what the Science of Mind view is. Social engagement, when centered from the heart, is a mobilization of individual energies, into communal, I am not speaking well today, communal, which is all of us, power, providing a way to support a world that works for all, from the individual to the collective. So it's all of us. It's each of us. It's everything. When I went to heart-centered, the first word that went into my mind was duh. And it's like, well, duh. I feel certain that most of you know what heart-centered is. And then immediately came, do you remember back when I wasn't in this community? And someone would have said, you know, from their heart center, I probably would have gone, well, tumbled over what I was saying. That maybe not everyone connects to their heart or has a view of it as something that they've heard, they've read someplace else. They could be shut down by emotions that they don't want their heart to feel because it's painful. They weren't shown how to be heart-centered or even what it was. The example that they grew up in, the community or the family, didn't talk about emotions or feeling, poo-pooed, you know, being heart-centered. So it brought me back to something that Steve had said last week, if you were here, is start where they are. Start where you are. What's heart-centered to you? That it's something personal. It's something that defines possibly how you live from. And in this society, in this culture, actually in this world, we're kind of reactionaries. And I know that I am at times. That I just sort of forget everything I've ever learned here at Circle's Edge or before, anything I've ever read, and I become a reactionary. I'm better and better, practice and practice, and become more from the heart place of possibly taking a breath when someone asks me something that kind of puts me on edge, that I kind of want to, you know, go back for, oh, wait a minute, is it heart-centered? Is it a place for me to respond to them in loving kindness? Now, this heart-centered can be innate, but it can also be taught. I can learn how to be heart-centered. I can learn how to be more heart-centered when I think, oh, well, I've done my work, I'm there. It's like, no, you're not. as we come more centered, we then live from that spot rather than from out here, kind of, me against the world. That my shift in consciousness changes from one of a reactionary or survival to thriving. A lot of times we get to a place where we're either rushed or feel very overwhelmed, and I feel that I'm surviving. I'm staying on top, and it's like I don't like living there. It is not comfortable, and I would imagine that you're kind of in the same place. That it's not a place that I want to be in. Now I can float, which at times I have done, and just kind of taken a breath and forgotten everything around me, and then regrouped and kind of start over, start again, from a place that's full. Love is full, heart is full. And to remember that I am too, that you are too. That it's not something you have to go out and create, find from someplace else. Those places help us remember, all of us. It helps us remember who we are. So, looking at all of this, and of course, going to the internet, and because I don't use it a lot, but I thought everyone says you can find everything on the internet. So I type in characteristics, attributes of heart-centered. Boom, here it comes. Like, really? Good. And what came up though was leading from heart center. So it's heart-centered leadership qualities. Well, the qualities that I'm sure that I would like to embody, to remember, to grow, to build up, so to speak, or support, and to broaden my thinking. Because I have this view, but as I look outward, it can bring a lot of more things up, and I can question them. What am I feeling? What does that mean to me? I agree, I don't agree, or I never thought of that. I love those. It's like another perspective, which then I can delve into, I can sit with, I don't have to figure it out, I can let it gel. And what that often does is leads me to different areas. Leads me to another link. As you can possibly know, you start looking for, as an example, like the Garden of Eden, and you end up with gardening tools for your succulents. You just keep hitting links and links. And that's kind of how I go at times, is from one to the other, and then go, wow, how did I get there? So some of the identifying characteristics, attributes that one or a community, because it is social engagement that they talk about. And the social engagement really begins with our oneness, that it's not you and you, it's us together. It's a completion. It's a community, and it starts with participation, involvement, and action. It's like a physical undertaking that you'll see either movement within yourself of consciousness. You'll see other people changing, perhaps, making their shift as well. And one of them is to, and this is for like a spiritual life, it's for any type of life, which, as we know, is one, it's spiritual. It can't be divided. And at times we feel that way. I'm over here being a nurse, and the spirituality, can't come in because someone might get upset. And then over here is my spirituality. It's learning to come from that authentic self and being authentic and learning what that is, because at times many of us are, especially when we're younger, are so influenced by media, peers, news. I was trying to figure out, what does any of that mean when I was much younger, and it's taken me quite a long time to separate that young person from someone who goes, oh, that resonates with me. Oh, no, I don't like that. So being authentic, telling the truth, being accountable for your actions, not, well, look what you made me do. No. Look inside. Where was it within me that made me do that? It's a building up of self. The other, and these are in no particular order, there's no one and two, they're just plain attributes, is mindfulness, being aware of where you are, what you're doing, and what you're feeling inside. You could be at a very happy place, and for some reason there might be this tinge of sadness maybe, or of, I don't feel like being part of the big party, and it's like, well, why? What came up? And to look at those objectively, without judgment, which is another biggie, I think, for all of us, and I hope someday, or pray someday, that I will be non-judgmental. And I have my moments, but I'm much less judgmental than I used to be. And at times I'm still putting out this judgment, and it's like, whoa, where did that come from? So part of it is just being self-aware. I'm judging because of a person or a place or an event. And being gentle. Let that go. Looking at things with new eyes, with a heart that's open, which is an understanding. So being understanding of yourself first and of others. And if you can't be of yourself, you can practice being understanding with others. You can draw those qualities that you put to them, because we as humans seem that it's easier for me to love you because you are a very loving person, but not to love myself. And it's still challenging, very challenging at times. If they did it so well, wish you could be like that. Where do I go with that? Do I keep spiraling down to, the doldrums? And I catch myself faster and faster of, let that go. Let it ease, let it off. And instead of feeling constricted by my judgment of myself, I open. I'm less tense, less stressful, more at ease with myself, which makes me more at ease in the world. Which that vibration people can feel and can tell. I mean, when you've been with friends or with family and you come into a room, you can oftentimes, if it's really volatile, really tell, well, something's going on. No one said anything, everybody looks the same, but there's something going on. What is that? Where can you take that, not let it penetrate you, so you can still stay focused? You can still stay within your goodness and let them be, and possibly bring some information, some love into it. The other is being in service. Service to ourselves, service to others. That in that community that is being built for a heart-centered social engagement is being in that service to support, to participate, to open to your gifts. And when you open to your gifts, it allows others to do the same. To open within themselves, remembering what they do well. Well, I know how to write on the board really well, which can be taught. It's like, that's my gift. I really like doing that. I'll take notes. Whatever, it allows them to step into their greatness, into their treasure that can be shared, that can be part of that community and building it up. And then commitment. How committed are you to the growth of yourself, to your own spirituality, to the growth of the group, to the community that you want to change, that you want to bring a heart center from? Many of you, wherever you might work, I know that Steve worked in corporations, is that in the past, I believe, that they've kind of concentrated on profit the bottom line? Are we the red or the black? What's going on? And they're learning, they meaning the world, that that's not what does productivity. That's not what the bottom line is. The bottom line is you, me. It's the bottom line is people. Is to where is the strength within each and every one and cultivate that. So we know, coming from the heart center of compassion, of love and kindness, of taking a breath before reacting to someone who's going to come at you, or just to say something about what's happening, that you don't have to own that negativity, that you can bring positivity into this. And there's so many more attributes. And where I got a lot of, the two books that I actually really went for this time instead of 5 and 6, is this book called Heart Intelligence. And it gives a lot of information and a lot of support to that. Before, when people came from their heart, it was, oh, you're being silly, or oh, that's just your imagination, that's a fairy tale. It's part of you. You can make your dreams become real. You can make a community's dreams come real. So I really recommend this book for delving even more into it. And the book for this month is by Terry Patton. It's called A New Republic of the Heart. And when I just read a little bit on Amazon, it's like, well, I've got to write a talk. I'll get the book. And it's very meaty. It's like, whoa. And as you can tell, I haven't done much reading, but all these little places of, wow, that's interesting. Never thought of that. And it's something that you can pick up and put down. It's not something that you need to sit down and read, unless you like to. But I found some of the information is more of a, I'll have to consider that. Wow, that's really fabulous. To let it sink in a little bit. But this book, I continue to read to just kind of come back at times to being, I guess, supported, or to give me new thoughts. But when you look at all of these attributes, these characteristics of heart-centered social engagement, is they pretty much distill down into love. It's love. All of these is love. So when you come to a place where I'm not sure what to do, come back to love. That opens your heart. It opens your spirit. It opens you to receive the love, even if it's self-generated. You show it, you be it, it changes. You'll find it changing atmosphere in a room. You find it mainly changing within yourself. It can bring us back to a clear path to improve conditions in our world. That we're not so bringing it from the brain, not the mind, but the brain, to a place of love, to a place that touches everybody and changes everything. So the goal with love is growth and challenges. It's to strive for that loving place within yourself and acting from there. And, excuse me, one of the other is bringing love is a revolution. And when I hear revolution, I go to TV and movies of the revolutions, the Civil War, the 1776, a revolution of fighting and wars. And what I read, which brought me back to myself going, duh, Kate, you should have known that. Revolution, revolving, turning. You're turning from whatever isn't working, turning from something that is amiss, turning from something that's not heart-centered, and turning towards heart-centered, to a place of love and peace, that your goals are for all people to make that shift and that change. And that's where going into community on a larger basis, that more and more people are working from that place, working from a fundamental of love. Dean Ornish says, the need for connection and community is primal, as fundamental as the need for air, water, and food. That we do better separately when we're together, if that can make some sense. That we're being supported by others. We're hearing people go, yes, Kate, you're on the right track. Well, have you thought about? You can say yes or no and have a discussion. Have someone else's vision help you make your vision. And it doesn't matter if it's even exactly the same. It still comes from you. It comes from a spot that is uniquely and authentically you. And community starts with empathy. It's the starting point for creating a community and taking action. It's the impetus for creating change. Change that we want from something that isn't working for all to something that can be created that hasn't been done before. Something new along with the old. That this community and coming together in consciousness creates higher status and structures of consciousness and awareness. It's breaking out of the old habits of consensus trance. We're all going to think this way. We're all going to do this. Oh, they're doing it, I'm going to do it. I think that must be right because look at how so many of them are. Rather than, wait, taking that step back, looking at something that might be more fulfilling, more relaxing, less stressful, less agitated. And yes, at times we here at Circle's Edge do have heated talks. And you can still feel the love. It's still there from each and every one of us feeling that. That it presents inclusiveness, that it values each of us to be there. That when one is gone, it's not the same. It's not the same without you. You're important. You're on purpose. You're on point. What affects you, what affects the community, affects all of us. And when coming together in a community that's heart-centered, it's sharing life experiences, friendships. You grow and you learn together, living a richer existence. When I read that, it just resonated with me. Find what resonates with you. I love richer existence. It doesn't mean only this part's going to be richer because who knows what. All of it shifts and changes, touches everything. And as more and more people begin to access their heart-centeredness, their heart intelligence, by listening, by participating, by supporting a heart-centered community, it creates an energetic connection, a vibration that makes it easier for those who are in trepidation or those who are do I or don't I, easier for them to become part of. Once you've made that step, that change, it has opened up a space for others to come in. Makes a space for them to be less afraid, perhaps, to be part of. Maybe I can do this. It seems like a great group. They all laugh and have fun, even though they're talking about serious stuff. So, a heart-centered social engagement, coming together in oneness, which is really all there is anyway. So I have a final affirmation for you. And as Steve said, my words become your words. I see the conditions in our world that are a call for prayer and action. Together in oneness, we join hands, hearts, and minds to co-create a more kind, loving, and abundant life for all.